Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I want to say hello to everybody and a happy Sunday. I hope you guys are doing well. And I wanted to come in to kind of address with you some stuff that's really going on in the economy and particularly in the area of layoffs and technology and things like that. And so, anyway, before I get started, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, so that I can know that that we remain connected. And also, if you'd like a free copy of a list of AI stocks that I recommend for my students, just text the word stock to the number 87948. But anyway, so there are layoffs on the horizon. And the reason I'm going live is to explain why so many tech layoffs are happening right now. So many people in the tech industry are being, from their jobs, and the stats are pretty alarming. It's not really getting a lot of attention in media. It's not really getting a lot of conversation. A lot of people aren't aware of it, and I thought that I would kind of tell you guys about it, even if you're in tech. My personal belief is that a lot of this could easily spread to other parts of the economy, and it's kind of worth knowing if you are concerned about where the economy is going. Now, I'll be curious. I want to do a quick straw poll. Actually, two quick straw polls. Number one, let's do our quick sound check. Give me a yes if you can hear me. Okay, let me know if you can hear me. Hey, Yoshika, how you doing? Hey, Rudy Dolomite, good to see you. Give me a yes if you can hear me. Okay, I want to make sure I'm coming through all right. Yoshika, did you say you're coming in from Louisiana? Very nice. Are you in New Orleans? I love New Orleans. D1, my buddies from New Orleans. So give me a yes if you can hear me. Okay. And the second straw poll I'm going to ask you has to do with the economy. All right. So after you tell me if you can hear me, I'm looking for my yeses. Sometimes there's a little bit of a lag between the time that you guys respond. Okay, there we go. Okay, I see some yeses. All right. Thank you, Rudy and Pat and Wanda and Rosa. I see you. All right. So that's the first question I want to ask you. The second question I want to ask is, how many of you think that we're in a recession right now? Give me a yes if you think that the economy is in a recession. Give me a no if you think that the economy is doing pretty well. Okay, I want to see what you guys think, and the reason I ask that is because there's a big discrepancy between what the American public thinks about the economy and what the data is saying about the economy. Okay, so I see a lot of yeses. I see Kareem and Wanda and Essence says yes. Pat. I'm sorry, Pat. Everett, Rosa. Okay, Jacinta said no. Okay, I see Sherelle says no. All right, so Mike says yeah. Okay, I was curious to ask that question because there's a massive discrepancy between what the data says about the economy and what regular working class people are saying about the economy. And I have theories on that. And I'm not going to belabor that point because I made the point before, but I think it's relevant for today. And then we're going to dig into sort of why all these layoffs are happening in the tech industry. I believe that we just have multiple economies. I think that asking someone, how is the economy doing, it's like asking different parts of the body, how is the body doing, right? So let's say that a person has really healthy, let's say they go to the gym and they work out their arms every day and their arms are nice and strong, but they don't work out their legs and they have an infected toe. Okay, so if I go to the arms, the people that, the part of the arm part of the body, I asked the arms if the arms could talk. I said, how's the body doing? Is the body doing pretty well? Well, the arm's gonna be like, oh, the body's great. I mean, man, we were bench pressing 300 pounds and we're stronger than ever. But then if I go down to the legs, which don't get a workout, the legs are going to say, oh, man, it's kind of weak up in here. I mean, I tried to walk up the steps and I almost passed out. And then if you go down to the infected toe is going to say, oh, it's terrible. It's horrible. It's the ghetto up in here. I mean, this, I'm about to fall off. I got bacteria all up in me and everything. And it's like a big, nasty Diddy party up in here. Right. Well, the reason you would get different answers from different parts of the body is because different parts of the body are getting different levels of attention from the command center. The brain is the command center. The brain is the occupant that controls the body, and so whatever you're working on, whatever you prioritize, is going to get the most attention. Give me a yes if you see where I'm going. Y'all know how I use weird analogies to explain stuff, but that's just natural. It just comes to me. So the point is that if you look at the government as kind of the brain of the body, they're the prefrontal cortex. They are the central nervous system, whatever you want to call it. They're making decisions about which parts of the economic body are going to get attention. And so people that invest in the stock market, people that live on Wall Street, people that are wealthy are kind of like the arms. They're always going to get pumped up when the Federal Reserve makes economic decisions about whether or not to increase interest rates or whatever they're going to do. They're thinking about wealthy people because most of them are wealthy people. Most people that are on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors are probably make over $250,000 a year or more, right? And the second tier, the legs, might be like regular working class people, people that are not really struggling and in poverty, but they're kind of middle class. Let's say middle class, but kind of let's say lower middle class, right? So they're getting the legs get a little bit of attention because you're walking and maybe you're jogging a couple miles a day, but they're not really getting the same workout as the arms. They're not getting the same level of attention. So the legs might be like, I don't know, like the guy that works at that has a UPS or something, right? Or works at I don't know, at Hilton hotels or whatever, and he's not making over 100,000 a year, but let's say he and his wife are able to do okay, put the kids in a decent school and live an okay life, but they're noticing the price of groceries going up, and it's kind of bothering them a little bit, and they're concerned about other aspects of the economy, job security, stuff like that. And then the infected toe is just kind of like the underbelly of our society. That's all the poverty that we're ignoring, the mental health issues that we're ignoring, the kids that are coming out of schools where 90% of them can't even read, write, or do math at grade level. Just all the things that really would be, honestly, if you looked at them with a microscope, would be kind of an embarrassment to America. That would be kind of what the toe is, just the infected part of the country that could just erupt in chaos at any point and really kill the whole body, right? Because if we don't care about our poor people, if we don't care about our children, if we don't care about our black and brown people that are struggling down in the hood and stuff like that, eventually that's going to cost us, right? We're going to pay for that. And it's not just black and brown people in the hood. It could be white people in Appalachia. If you've ever been to Eastern Kentucky, I grew up in Kentucky. If you go, people think the whole state of Kentucky is all backwards and redneckish, and that's not true. No, that's not true. You got basically Kentucky's like New York City. In Kentucky, you've got Louisville, and then you have the rest of the state, right? You have Louisville, which is kind of like Kentucky's version of New York City, very modern, good people, pretty advanced. And then you got places where you might literally, your brother might really be your dad at the same time. That, just stuff like that, right? Just stuff where you're like, holy crap, I didn't know human beings did this anymore. But they're good people, though. They're not, I know all the stories about the racism and like if you go around to rednecks, they're going to all want to kill you and stuff. I haven't found that to be true. I know a lot of good country folk who are white who, as long as you don't bother them, they don't bother you. So I think it's kind of a silly myth to think that only country folks or Southern folks can be racist. I've seen just as many racists in New York as I've seen in Kentucky. So let's stop with that nonsense. But anyway, with that being said, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button really quick. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. And also, by the way, in case you're interested, I did create a new program called Retire Rich and Early, the Dr. Boyce Blueprint. And what it's designed to address is the coming retirement crisis and how you can make sure that you and your family are not hit by that. The lifetime access fee is $299. You can actually, for today, get access for life for $99. It's a breakdown of a bunch of modules on retirement, how it works, and also to kind of launch the training. I'm going to do a special event Tuesday night at 8:00 called Retire Rich and Early, and I'm going to literally break down everything you need to know about retirement. And this is good for any age. One thing about retirement is a lot of people think retirement is for old people. No, you get a lot of the benefits when you get old. But retirement's really a young person's game. That's something that you prepare for when you're young. And it also gives you financial security while you're young. So it's not like you have to wait till you get old to enjoy your money. You can enjoy your money even in your 20s if you use it for financial security or collateral for a loan. You can do a lot of things like that. So anyway, there's the link in the chat. Let me know if you see the link. Feel free to go take a look. And for today, you can get it for $99. It gives you lifetime access to all the materials and the recording of Tuesday night's event. All right. So with that being said, so here are some stats on what's happening in as far as layoffs in the tech industry. I was particularly alarmed by this because I was kind of surprised that it's gotten this bad this quick. I knew it would get bad. I knew it. I knew. I just had no doubt in my mind that there's no way we could have something as powerful as artificial intelligence and not start having people get laid off. I just really knew. I said there's no way on earth. All these executives that are telling well, AI is just going to be like a companion, and AI is not going to replace people. But the people who use AI are going to replace people. No, No, AI is going to replace people, and they're going to be a few people. I mean, there are going to be people still working and stuff, like but it's it ain't going to be like it is before. See, you got to understand. You got to understand the relationship between capitalists and human beings. Capitalists, which they're kind of human beings, not always. Capitalists don't really like dealing with people that much. They just don't. Their job, their goal has always been. Pay attention now. The goal of the capitalists in America, the extreme capitalists, has always been to turn you into a damn robot. Ever since Henry Ford and all those pioneers started, pulling these machines and making cars on the assembly line, or hiring a person where their only job was to stand there all day and pull a lever back and forth over and over like a robot. You don't think that Henry Ford, if he'd had the opportunity to lay off a person and replace them with a robot, you don't think he would have done that? Human beings require a human touch. You have to remember that they have to go to the bathroom every now and then. The human beings have to stop for lunch. Human beings need a mental health day. Human beings get sick. Human beings can't work 24 hours a day. And that's unfortunate because you've got the human aspect of America that is in direct conflict with the big capitalist machinery that's driving America, right? So to some extent, it's a very inevitable process that a lot of tech workers are going to be replaced by AI because AI is just better at technology than you are. What you got to understand is that right now, Open AI, and I follow this stuff very closely. Sam Altman and all that. They just said a shakeup at Open AI because they're trying to go raise $6 or $7 billion, which is the biggest fundraise of a private company ever. And eventually they're going to be they want to plow through 10, 20, $30 billion a year of CapEx spending and revenue every year. They're losing money. OpenAI is losing about $5 billion a year. But this is an arms race right now, people. This is happening right now. This is an arms race between Google, between Apple, Microsoft, all these other companies. Nvidia's kind of in it, but they're kind of like the dope man right now. They're supplying everybody with what they need. Eventually, Nvidia is going to have competitors. So Amazon, I think the reason Amazon is buying 1,000 robots a day is so they can replace human beings. The studies have shown that the number of Amazon employees has dropped precipitously since they started hiring robots. I think that Elon Musk's long-term plan is robo taxis, but also robots working in the factories. And eventually he'll be sending those robots to Mars. A human being will not land on Mars before an AI robot does. I think an army of AI robots will land on Mars and build out everything that we need for a Mars colony. And then they're going to start sending human beings. Why would you not do that? Why would that not be the logical way to approach it? Because human beings are so delicate. We get hit with a little bit of radiation. We can't survive no more. An AI robot will be perfect for a space trip. They won't even know that they're doing it. So what's my point here? Why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because I'm letting you guys know 100% clear, because these are going to be the headlines probably in about a year or two. These are what the big headlines are going to be. I want you to be the canaries in the mine that the AI revolution is already taking away a lot of jobs. Let me read some of this to you in terms of stats. Okay, according to Techopedia, over 211,000 tech workers have lost their jobs around the world in 2024. The U.S. has accounted for about a little more than half of that. So we've lost 120,000 jobs to tech layoffs. That's a very big number. Number two, 25% of U.S. tech leaders expect to implement further layoffs due to economic challenges, high interest rates, and rapid advancements in AI. Many companies are restructuring to remain competitive, particularly as they invest more heavily in AI technology. I know small businesses that are letting people go because of AI. So if you know small businesses are doing it, I know big ones are. Number three, the AI-driven restructuring trend. That's a major factor behind a lot of the layoffs as companies reduce roles that are becoming redundant while shifting towards automation. That's according to Techopedia. So basically, automation, the fact that a lot of these jobs are repetitive, are pretty much being sort of wiped out. And this is the shift that's happening in the American economy. Now, in terms of something that I hope will help you support you in this process of preparing for this economy, I did put together a list of AI stocks that I like, stocks I'm invested in, because the way to benefit from AI is to invest in it. It's coming regardless. You can't stop it. Go into a protest or something where you hold a picket sign up and say, stop making money, stop using robots. That's not going to work. The better way to make money or to benefit from this is to invest in it now because the trends are strong And so if you want to see my list of AI stocks that I like, that I dollar cost average into my portfolio, you could text the word stock to the number 87948. So just text stock to 87948. I'll also send you some free stuff like how to start investing in 5 minutes and a few other trainings that we have in the Black Business School. I have another one called How to Make Money Without Working that does really well, that people really love, in the sense that it explains in very simple terms exactly how you can get started with things like stocks and stock options and investing. I think that's the future. Now, in terms of how the economy is going to look after AI kind of does what it's going to do, I don't know. All I know is that there are people who believe that AI will be the last invention ever by mankind. They have basically gotten to the point where how many of y'all follow ChatGPT? Does anybody follow ChatGPT? How many of y'all follow it or use it? Well, anyway, on ChatGPT, they just released a new update. I forgot what it's called. It's like O1 or A1 or something. O1 mini, yeah. And basically O1, they said that it processes things like a PhD student, like an advanced PhD student. And they also measured the IQ of the AI, and the IQ of the AI is far beyond the IQ of normal human beings. I think like the average American's IQ is about 100. I think the AI's IQ is about 130, 140 now. So it's only going to get stronger. And they said that once AI reaches the level where it is as smart as an AI researcher, it's going to start building on itself. That's when compound interest, so to speak, is going to start kicking in. It's going to start multiplying like bunny rabbits in the backyard. It's going to start basically doing more research in a day than human beings might do in 100,000 years, which is going to be kind of insane, right? It's going to be kind of crazy, probably pretty scary, right? Like I really think there's some small probability that we can all die from this. I just can't imagine this ending well for human beings, because they'll probably conclude that we're just bad for the earth, which we are, because we're destroying the planet. But then again, maybe they'll find a way to save the planet and keep us here at the same time. I have no clue what the future is going to look like with AI. All I know is that if you are a little bit concerned about it, you have very good reason to be. But then again, the future is always coming, and I encourage you not to live your life out of fear, because did y'all know that fear has always been around. Did y'all know that when they invented electricity, check this out, y'all. Did y'all know that 70-something% of all Americans refused to get electricity in their house because they thought electricity was full of evil spirits? How many of y'all knew that? How many of y'all knew that? They literally thought that like demonic spirits were in the electricity, so they wouldn't get it. And this was a large percentage of people. So, I'm not saying don't be worried. I'm just saying you can't let fear stop you from making decisions. You have to sort of move forward with intentionality and desire. Now, one thing I want to mention really quickly is the All Black National Convention is coming up. The ABNC is our annual think tank. That's where we all get together. It's like a big Black family reunion with the smartest Black people on the planet, and just good people, and having a good time and learning from each other and connecting. And it's going to be in Lombard, Illinois, which is right outside of Chicago, at the Westin Hotel. So it's going to be fancy and nice. So if you want to feel a little bit bougie, you'll get that feeling. We're going to treat you well. At the same time, it's very down to earth. There's no Democrat Republican nonsense. There's no it's not about how much money you make or how little you make. It's not about how many years you spent going to school. I don't care about none of that. All it comes down to is, do you care about the Black community? Do you want Black people to have better families? Do you want us to succeed? Do you want us to have wealth and financial security? Do you want to break generational curses? If that is you, then this convention was designed for you. It's not built to be like the Congressional Black Caucus Convention. This is not the NAACP convention. This is not the Urban League convention. I don't have faith in any organizations outside of our community. I don't have faith in the Democratic Party. I do not have faith in the Republican Party. I do not have faith in white people coming to save Black people. I have faith in Black people coming to save Black people. And so if you are in that group, if that is you, then feel free to go to allblacknationalconvention.com. The URL is right there on the screen. And we're going to meet October 25th through the 27th in Lombard, Illinois. We have about 60 different experts that are going to be there. And it's really going to be fun. We're going to do everything from stock options to we're going to cover areas related to the Black church. Pastor James Wilson, who's the head of a major church down in Cincinnati, he's coming up. Brother Nuri Muhammad, Minister Nuri Muhammad, whichever title you want to use, he'll be there. My wife, Dr. Alicia Watkins, is going to be there. She is a licensed therapist and a full professor of social work, who has a lot of friends that are into mental health. They do mental health Mondays every week on Fly Nubian Queen. And basically what we've concluded is that if we as a community can address things like undiagnosed and untreated trauma, we can really fix a lot of our challenges. And so Lamar Tyler, the Black Millionaire Maker, will be there. He's created more Black millionaires than anybody I've ever known. Dr. Ken Harris, who runs the Black Business League, is coming. Dr. Ken Harris runs the largest organization of Black-owned businesses in the United States. D1, who is literally changing all of hip-hop right now, just called me yesterday and said that he wants to come. Like, it's really, really a lot of fun, guys. We really worked hard. It's our 9th year, and I'm really proud of this because we did this ourselves. You know, freedom ain't free. Freedom is not free. So we cannot have Black liberation brought to you by McDonald's and Kodak and Google and all these companies, right? So companies will not fund this. We have to fund this ourselves. Will you record it and share it with those of us that can't make it? I'm sorry, Jason. We were unable, due to budget reasons, we were unable to do the recording and distribution of it. Unfortunately, brother, this is something that you have to actually be there to be a part of. I wish I could do more, but we do have some recordings of previous ABNCs, which have been pretty amazing, but this is, we're not able to really do that from this point going forward, because I'm gonna be honest with you, it is really hard to pay for this stuff, especially when you're trying to be Black and independent and trying to speak truth on these issues. You don't get a lot of financial support from corporations, banks, or really anybody. We even had a Black-owned hotel in DC, a big Black-owned hotel, with that literally once they found out our convention was called the All Black National Convention, suddenly they didn't have any space. Before they were fine. Before they were like, oh yeah, we're going to give you a couple $100,000 and blah, blah, blah. And they're all like, yeah, okay, well, let's set the date and blah, blah, blah. And then they were like, so what's the name of your convention? And we were like, oh, it's called the All Black National Convention. As soon as we told this Black-owned hotel that it was the All Black National Convention, that was when everything changed. The whole tune sort of changed. The whole mood changed. They suddenly went from being, completely open to being booked and busy. Oh, we're booked that time next year. Oh, what about the year after that? Oh, well, we'll book then too. So we just said, well, screw you. If you don't want our money, we don't want to work with you. So you got some Black people out here that are still scared to be Black. But there are a lot of intelligent Black people who love Black people, who are not afraid to be Black, who ain't scared of white folks, ain't scared of ignorant Black folks, aren't scared of Democrats, Republicans, corporations, or nobody, the government, none of these people. And these are not radical people. These are good people. My wife has her doctorate in social work. She is a licensed therapist. She teaches therapists how to do therapy. If the Black community needs anything, we need therapy. So I said, hey, babe, can you get a bunch of your friends and who are also therapists, and let's get together and let's heal our community. Ain't nobody else doing it. Ain't nobody else doing it. There is no Superman for you. There is no Superman. The closest thing we got to Superman might be brother Nuri Muhammad, who, if you know Nuri is a bad boy. Nuri's out here making things happen at an epic level. He's giving training to our people at an epic level. He loves our people. He'll die for our people. Brother Lamar Tyler has created more Black millionaires than anybody I know. My brother Lawrence, actually, I don't talk much about him, but my brother Lawrence is going to be there. And actually, he founded the largest Black-owned speakers bureau in the country, and he's actually worked with a venture capital fund that manages tens of millions of dollars. Constance Carter, who ran the largest Black-owned real estate firm in the country, she's going to be there. So if you're into real estate, we got you. Ace Chapman, who is showing people at an epic level how to acquire businesses. A lot of people don't know that one secret wealth spot, one big wealth hack that's happening right now is that there are all these businesses that are dying, that are very valuable, that are going to die because people didn't think about the next generation. You were so busy making money and grinding and working hard that you forgot to have kids and teach your kids to take over the family business. So now they want to go and get corporate jobs and student loans. So they're abandoning these businesses. So what he's been training students in the Black Business School to do is to go and acquire these businesses, and he's done very well with this. He's made millions of dollars, and he's showing people how to do it. Andre C. Hatchett, who is showing folks how to become mobile notaries, he's going to be there. Dr. Lene Javette, who's a business strategist, an expert on Black-owned businesses, she'll be there. Michelle Walker Davis, who has helped people procure tens of millions of dollars in government contracts, big money in government contracts. She's going to be there. I can keep going. I mean, y'all see how many experts we have. I can't name every single person, but there's like literally about 60 experts from all walks of life. And we start with the financial, of course, but then we go into the mental health. We go into the physical health. We go into the legal. We go into the activism. We go into the education. We go into all of that. So that's what the All Black National Convention is all about. I hope you guys will consider joining us at the convention. If you're interested, just go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. All right. So hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Samuel says, Boyce, do you have awareness on that Jacksonville graduate that's attacking the 11-year-old black child that did a CNN interview with other kids? She's being viciously attacked on social media. Well, I didn't see anything about that. I'm going to look that up, Samuel. But I'll say this. I haven't seen this, but I will say that there are people who will attack you for being black and not going along with, vote blue no matter who or whatever it is they tell you to do, because they have people that are hired pretty much to manage the black community. They call it, they pretend like they're black leaders. Like for a long time, they presented Diddy as a black leader, but Diddy was never a black leader. Al Sharpton was never a black leader. These people are what I refer to as Negro managers. Negro managers are not black leaders. Negro managers are people whose job it is to basically herd you together like sheep and get you to basically do what they tell you to do. That's what that's their job. They're here to tell you what to do. Now, again, I'm not here to tell you to be Democrat or Republican. I don't tell you to do any of that. So let's just put that out of your head right now. That's not my job. But I am here to say that you should do what's going to work best for you and your family. Can we at least agree on that? Just give me a yes. What's up? What's up, Super Dave? I see you, brother. Can you give me at least a yes to let me know that it's okay for me to say, without sounding radical, that black people should do what's best for themselves and their families? I think that you got to put yourself first. You are serving everybody else except you. You are taking care of everybody else but you. And look at where your kids are at. You got millions of your kids out here, ain't got no mentorship, no guidance, that can't hardly read, write, or nothing. And we're too busy for the kids because we off serving massa at our jobs. We off trying to take care of everybody else. I mean, remember when Kamala announced she was running? Then I saw a group of black people that had a Zoom call. They had a big, really important Zoom call. It was like a really big Zoom. And they had this massive Zoom call and they raised like $2 million for her, like in an hour or something, right? And I thought that was so impressive. But I said, you do know it costs like almost $2 billion to run for president. You do know $2 million is like, that might be the amount of money they spend on 3 days worth of toilet paper. And I'm not saying that that's not good. I'm not saying that I don't applaud you for doing that. But I said, man, isn't it crazy that I could probably call those same people and say, let's hurry up and raise $2 million so we can go build a school and educate our black kids. I ain't got time for that. I got to go to work. My job needs me on Tuesday. I don't want to rock the boat. You rocking the boat by educating your own damn kids. That's considered radical for you, is it now? I just want you to think about that. Like if you look at, for example, in Chicago, I'm in Chicago right now, and there are parts of Chicago that are just absolutely obliterated, like a war zone, just torn to pieces. Millions of little kids, not millions in Chicago, but just lots of kids that need help, support, guidance, and everything. And there are people that don't have time for that. Why? Well, because they're too busy serving the corporate plantation or doing whatever they got to do. But Kamala calls and says, I'm running for president. I'm trying to get the biggest black job in America. Then suddenly we can rally around that and raise $2 million for her. But a lot of people can't raise that $2 million to build black-owned businesses or to go and build a black-owned school or whatever, right? I'm not making fun of those individuals. I'm just saying you should do what's best for you. That's my core belief. That's what I believe. And I think it's okay to say that. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. And I will say that rather than sitting around just being mad at white people, that's not what I do. I don't have anything against anybody. I just want us to love ourselves. And that's what the convention is all about. So if you'd like to join us, you can go to allblacknationalconvention.com. It's October 25th through the 27th in Lombard, Illinois, right outside Chicago. We're going to be at the Westin Hotel, and it's going to be amazing. And you see some of the experts that we have, and that's not even the tip of the iceberg. That's literally less than 5%, I believe, of the experts. Definitely not even 10%. It's a very small percentage right there. I just showed you. All right. Anyway, so let me just finish up here. So we were talking about the jobs being lost in the tech industry, and I was mentioning to you all that I think investing in this industry is a good move long term. Every indicator pretty much says that AI is just going to be insane over the next 20, 30 years. AI now, in my view, is a lot like what the internet was in the year 2000. In 2000, how many of y'all remember 2000? Anybody old enough to remember the year 2000, or am I just an old man now? If you remember the year 2000, the internet was kind of like the big new thing, the big flashy thing. And everybody was like .com this and .com that. So anything that put the words .com on the end of their company, their stock price automatically went up because everybody knew it was going to be big. But what you don't know is you don't know the path to bigness, so to speak. You don't know which companies are going to survive and which ones are going to get killed. You don't know how big it's going to be. You don't know what it's going to look like when you finally get there. So the internet became as big as we thought it was going to be. But if you tried to pick individual companies in order to invest in the internet, you probably would have gotten it wrong, because you probably would have invested in, like, you've got mail, AOL. You maybe would have invested in some of these companies with Netscape and some of these other silly companies that were out there, when actually the big players in the internet were pretty much companies that barely existed. Facebook at that time barely existed. Google at that time barely existed. And so these were the big players that were going to emerge. Apple and Microsoft, though, you could have hit those two. Apple and Microsoft were big 20 years ago. They're very big right now. And I think those are opportunities that some of us may regret missing out on. But here's the deal. Here's what I want you to understand. This is the last point I'm going to leave with you guys is this. I want you to know that that the next big thing is out there. The next big thing is right there in your face. We're going to do what we call a financial consciousness exercise. If you join my Money in the Morning class, where we do economic elevation every morning at 10 a.m., which by the way, the URL to join it, b1moneytips.com, is right there on the screen if you want to join us in class for free. This is what I call a consciousness exercise. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to just sort of visualize this. It's not 2024. Let's pretend like it's 2004. Okay, it's 2004. And in 2004, there were companies that were right there in your face, opportunities that were sitting right in front of you that you could see in plain day, that you look right past. You look right past them, and they eventually grew into opportunities that would have changed your life. And a lot of these, here's the deal. Here's what I want you to understand. A lot of these were not obscure investments that only a genius would know about. These were not rare opportunities that you had to look at with a fine-tooth comb in order to find. Some of these were right in your face. Right in your face. Nike and Apple were right in your face. Were they not? Apple was right there. It's not like you didn't know about Apple in 2004. Microsoft was right in your face. Right? Do you understand what I'm saying? A lot of these companies that eventually just their stocks quadrupled and quintupled and 10x'd and all that, they were right in your face. But if your consciousness wasn't on investing, then you would have missed it all. Google was emerging. There were news stories about Google when they figured out how to do search better than anybody else around 2007. That was a company that was right in your face. And so what you have to maybe ask yourself is the hard question to say, well, where was I? What the hell was I thinking about in 2007 that caused me to miss out on economic opportunities that would have changed my life? If I go back to 2015, Bitcoin was right in your face. Was it not? How many of you knew? Give me a yes or no. How many of you knew about Bitcoin in 2015 or 2016? Give me a yes. Now, I'm not going to ask you to go back to like 2011, 2012. It was still emerging at that time. But how many of y'all knew about Bitcoin in like 2015? Give me a yes in the chat. So let me just show you. And it wasn't like it was, again, it wasn't like it was too hard to sort of pick it. It could have been one of 1,000 investments you made, but it would have made a big difference. Look at Bitcoin now, right? Bitcoin's at 65,955. It has had periods as recently as 2 years ago where it was trading at one fourth of that price. But imagine if you went back to when you were thinking about something else back in 2016. This is as far back as the graph goes. May 6, 2016. Can y'all see that? Bitcoin was $453.99. Anybody who bought one Bitcoin in 2016, that Bitcoin would have gone up. I can't even tell you what percentage that is. I think it's more several thousand percent. $453 investment would have turned to $65,955. All you had to do was take a little bit of money and just wait. 453 is about the cost of a plane ticket and a hotel for a trip you maybe took in 2016 and didn't think nothing of it. 453.99. That's maybe 2 trips to the mall. Some of us spent way more than that just for Christmas shopping on toys that literally have zero value right now. It was right there in your face. The money was sitting in a briefcase in front of you in broad daylight. But you missed it because you weren't thinking about investing. You weren't financially conscious like you are now. So what I'm asking you to do is to understand that you don't live in the future. You do not live in the future, and you barely live in the present. What do I mean by that? You think you live in the present. You think you live in the future. You think you live in these advanced times where everything interesting's already happened. No, you actually live in the past. You live in the past. You kind of live in like 2024 is to 2054 what 1994 is to us. That's what you are. You live in the past. You're not new and fancy and radical. You're not the new Negroes. You're the old fashioned Negroes. That's what you are in the eyes of people in the future. So 30 years from now, or 20 years from now, maybe 10 years from now, there are people looking back at and listening to this podcast in the year 2034, and they're saying, "Oh my God, I wish in 2024 I had invested in blank." They're saying, "Gosh, if I could go back to 2024 and have put my money into blank, it would have 100x by that time." Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? Are you all, is this kind of sinking in? Do you see what I'm trying to say here? I hope you get what I'm saying. I'm a little bit abstract sometimes, but what I want you to just understand is that your big opportunities all around you all the time. And I would say that anybody who wants to be wealthy is going to spend their time digging for that treasure. The treasure is buried in your backyard. It is definitely not at that white man's job. I can tell you that much. There ain't no, because you've been digging for that treasure for 20 or 30 years, and they barely give you enough money to retire. It ain't at the job. I'm not saying leave the job. I'm not saying you're bad for going to the job. I understand we got bills to pay. That fulfills a short-term need. But if you're talking about fulfilling your long-term needs, if you went back to 1994 right now and you were thinking about long-term needs, and you're talking to somebody in 1994 right now, and you say, "Hey, let's do some things now that so that in 2024 we're going to be in good financial shape," and that Negro says, "No, I can't because I got to go to work," you would look at them as a very short-sighted, narrow-minded, small-minded person. You would say, "Oh my God, you don't see the future right now. You're only looking at 1994. You really think it's going to be 1994 forever. You look crazy to me right now." So what I'm saying to you is that when you are a small-minded person, when you don't think about the long term, when you're not thinking big, when you're not thinking about the next big opportunity, when you're not seeing or at least looking for the potential all around you, you're going to look back and be mad at yourself. So that's what I do every day. If you want to know what I'm doing every day, I'm looking for the treasure that is buried around me. I know that that next big opportunity is right there in front of me. I just got to find it. And I cannot find it if I'm being distracted by stupid little petty ridiculous stuff. So go find your big opportunity. And anyway, in case you want to join us for financial consciousness training, we do this every morning at 10 a.m. I think a lot of you like it. A few thousand of you have signed up, so feel free to go to b1moneytips.com. It's totally free, and the goal is just to teach you how to think about money, how to see money, how to visualize money. Part of the reason that most Americans are not ready for retirement is because most Americans were not trained to visualize the fact that they were going to get older. They were not trained to think about what retirement needs does for them. They were never taught about how important it is. You were always taught to focus on the short term. Back in the 90s, when you should have been saving for retirement, you had other things to do. And for some of you, you're young, and I just don't want you to make the same mistake that some of your parents and grandparents have made, because most Americans are not trained to think about the future. They're not trained to think big. They're not trained to think long term. They're not trained to think in terms of systems. They're only trained to think in terms of short-term issues and jobs. That's it. That's where your whole economic conversation kind of starts and ends. And I personally will tell you that that's a very limited perspective. So basically, that's the goal of financial consciousness training, to help you see the money. I want you to see the money, and if you see the money, you can be the money. So feel free to join us by going to b1moneytips.com, or you can also text the word morning, MORNING, to 87948, because it's called Money in the Morning. So text the word morning to 87948, and I'll invite you. Last but not least, the All Black National Convention. If you want to join us in Chicago, Illinois on October 25th through the 27th, you can go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. And finally, here's a link one more time. If you want to join that training, Retire Rich and Early, that I just put together, here is a link right there in the chat. Where you guys can join for $99 for lifetime access for $99. The regular lifetime access fee is $299, but you can join for $99 today. So feel free to do that if you are interested in that type of stuff. I'm going to do a training on Tuesday night at 8:00, all about retirement. So anyway, have a good day, guys, and thanks for hanging out with me. And I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. And I will see you all tomorrow morning. Take care now. Bye-bye.